They called it a containment zone, a place designed to isolate danger. The public was told it was sealed, controlled, safe. But internal documents tell a different story. Because from the very beginning, this zone was never secure, and the people inside it knew that long before anyone else did. Containment zones are built on a simple idea. When something becomes too dangerous to exist freely, radiation, toxic chemicals, biological material, or classified technology, you isolate it. You draw boundaries, you restrict access, you monitor everything. On paper, containment zones are systems of control. In reality, they are systems run by humans, and humans make compromises, budget compromises, political compromises, moral compromises. This particular containment zone was created after an incident officials later described as contained with minimal long-term risk. That phrase would become important later. The incident that led to the zone's creation was not sudden. It was the result of rushed decisions, outdated safety models, pressure to maintain secrecy. Within hours, authorities realized something was wrong. Levels were higher than expected, spread models were inaccurate, and evacuation plans were incomplete. So instead of fully dismantling the site, they contained it. A perimeter was drawn, checkpoints were installed, and a new term entered official language: controlled exclusion. It sounded reassuring. It wasn't. The earliest warning signs were subtle. Sensors malfunctioned, readings contradicted one another, reports were delayed, then rewritten. Internal memos show that engineers raised concerns within weeks. They warned containment barriers were insufficient, environmental spread had been underestimated, long-term exposure risks were unknown. The response? Acceptable margins. Acceptable for whom was never clarified. Personnel inside the zone began noticing changes too. Equipment degraded faster than expected, protective gear failed inspections, and small breaches, classified as minor, became routine. Each breach was documented, none were publicly acknowledged. Containment zones don't run themselves. People live and work inside them. Security staff, engineers, maintenance crews, scientists. They rotated in and out on schedules designed to minimize exposure. But rotation only works when the system itself works. Some workers reported unexplained fatigue, memory lapses, persistent nausea. Others reported something more disturbing. They noticed areas of the zone changing, not dramatically, not suddenly, but gradually. And once noticed, it couldn't be ignored. Requests for transfers increased, so did non-disclosure agreements. The official story says the perimeter held, the documents say otherwise. Small containment failures occurred repeatedly over several years. Most were labeled statistically insignificant. But containment doesn't fail all at once. It fails slowly. A compromised seal here, a misread sensor there, a delayed response that arrives too late. One internal review noted something alarming. The zone's boundaries no longer matched reality. What was being monitored and what was actually spreading were not the same thing. That report was archived. No action followed. Publicly, officials maintained confidence. Statements emphasized safety, control, long-term stability. Privately, contingency plans expanded. Evacuation models were quietly updated. Emergency thresholds were lowered, and a new phrase appeared in internal planning documents: event escalation, which is bureaucratic language for "we might lose this," but admitting failure would mean admitting responsibility. And responsibility carries consequences, so the narrative remained intact. Eventually, the zone was reclassified, not because the danger was gone, but because maintaining the original designation was no longer politically useful. Oversight changed hands, language softened, restrictions loosened. Some personnel were relocated, others were not. Long-term studies were promised, few were completed, and the zone remains. Still restricted, still monitored, still officially secure. Containment zones reveal something uncomfortable. They show how institutions respond when total control is impossible, not with transparency, but with language, not with accountability, but with redefinition. This zone was never secure because security was never the priority. Stability was, and stability, when threatened, is often protected at any cost. The danger wasn't that the containment failed. The danger was that it was never designed to succeed, and once that happens, the boundary stops being a line of protection and becomes a line of denial.